Awesome. Okay, everybody, Facebook, we are live today. I am super pumped to have Miss Melissa McAllister on my show today. If those of you who don't know who Melissa is, she is a teen beach body coach now for over 12 years, rocking and rolling in Dallas, Texas. And I am super pumped to have her on the show. And I'm going to tell you why here in a few minutes. But Melissa, welcome to Girls Guide to Greatness. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Have fun. I just shared on my Instagram that anybody that reaches out to me that ever, is like, hey, you want to chat, and especially if it's about the things I'm passionate about, I'm like, oh yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I got some really great feedback when I started posting and promoting this because people are really interested in hearing from you. And I'm super excited about what we're going to be talking about on the show today, which is really big because, like you said, we were talking before the show, and you were saying this is a big topic, intermittent fasting. And people have like their own ideas about what that is. There are a lot of myths out there that are focused around intermittent fasting, and the word keto get dropped a lot, and then people think negatively about these things. So I'm excited about talking to you on the positive side, really clearing up some of those myths right out there that are running around. So tell us, first of all, before we get into the whole myths about keto and intermittent fasting, can you tell me and the audience a little bit about how you got started in the health and fitness industry and what you're doing with Teen Beachbody?
Yeah, it's quite a long story, and I'll just really condense it by sharing that I was born with severe birth defects in my feet, so I grew up very sedentary. I wasn't allowed to play sports. The doctor said she can't run, she can't hop, she can't skip, she can't do anything. So, my mom, being a good mom, kind of went like this and held me in tight and made sure that I didn't, the feet that weren't supposed to be there in the first place, that they actually held up. And so I was a video game playing. I sit and eat a whole bag of Doritos and drink a couple Coca-Colas in my childhood. And it wasn't until I got out of my mom's grasp, which she did the best she could, but that I went to a gym when I was in college. And I was actually going to college to get my degree in nutrition. And I went to my first gym and started taking classes and just fell in love with the feeling of movement, because it was something I really didn't do my whole growing up. In fact, the funny thing is I got a Letterman's jacket my senior year, but I got my letter by managing the cross country department because I didn't play sports, and the high school knew that I had a Letterman's jacket and wanted to give me one. So they made up this fake manager of so anyway, there was lots of exceptions made for me growing up. And so I started to really just get involved with exercise and going to school for nutrition. I realized what a key role nutrition played in how you felt to want to exercise and to want to better yourself. So they just went hand in hand. And I ended up marrying my high school sweetheart, and we had two small kids. And it came to the point that those two small kids that are 18 months apart were driving me absolutely bananas. So I wanted to get back to the gym and, decided to teach group exercise because I got a free membership. My husband and I, we're pinching pennies, and it gave me the opportunity to do something that helped other people. And it gave me the opportunity to be away from my kids for over an hour a day. So I was all for it. And so I fell in love with teaching because it allowed me to inspire other people and to be a part of their positive change. So I was a group exercise manager for a long time. And then I ended up becoming a master trainer for a large fitness chain, which means I taught people how to teach. So it took me from, I used to take the classes, and then I would teach them, which was cool. And then I got to teach people to teach them. So my web got bigger, my ripple effect got bigger. And then I was introduced to Beachbody, and it was kind of the same thing. Here I am, somebody that loves fitness and nutrition, and I was helping people in my demographic, this little tiny area. It felt wonderful. And even as a master trainer, I got to travel a little bit, to different cities. But becoming a coach allowed me to take what I love to do and do it virtually, just like we are right now, to be able to help people through social media instead of them having to be physically in my same town. And so I became a coach, and I took all the knowledge I have and all the passion and my own consistency, kind of put it on social media. And that allowed me to help other people, in California and Florida, New York, and now, Canada and the UK and France. So that's, it's just been I'm always the kind of person, to a fault, that wants to go to the next level. I have a really hard time just being comfortable. I always like to stretch my legs and to try to do what I love to do and do it on a bigger scale. And so just going from being a participant to that instructor to that master trainer to now the Beachbody coach has just allowed me to help more people and have a bigger impact.
I love that. That sounds amazing. So, and you're working with people all over the world. I think that's fantastic. That's one reason I love being a coach as well. I used to be in the health and fitness industry. Actually, that's how I came to know you, Melissa. Not personally, but kind of out there. You were known in the Team Beachbody community. And so I was a Beachbody coach as well for over a decade. And so someone had reached out to me and said, "Hey, you need to look up Melissa. She's doing awesome things and she would be great to have on your show." And so that's what I did. So I'm super excited to have you. And I know as a coach that that's what I love about, doing what I do is I get to teach and make an impact. That I love what you said, the ripple effect, right? It starts with you, but it doesn't end with you. It continues on. And I love that. Okay, so let's jump right into intermittent fasting. Can you tell us exactly what that is? What is your definition of that?
Yeah, it's a pattern of eating. It doesn't follow any protocol as far as the kind of food that you eat or what you eat specifically in maybe the window that you eat, but there's a bunch of different styles. There's the daily intermittent fasting, there's alternate day fasting, there's extended fasting. And although I've dabbled in all of them, I actually became an accidental intermittent faster when I first started teaching group exercise, which I think I was 20 years old. And I realized that I just didn't feel good with food in my belly when I was jumping around. I was more comfortable teaching on an empty stomach. I've been retired from actually teaching for about 3 years now, but if anybody knows me, I kind of go hard in my classes because that's how I feel like I can inspire you, as if I'm pushing myself hard. So I just didn't want a lot of food in my belly.
Right.
And I always taught morning classes. So I would get home around 11 o'clock and I would, then have my breakfast. And I'm also the kind of person, and this is before being educated on how good it was for me. I just didn't like going to bed on a full belly either. I realized I didn't sleep as well. I woke up more in the night. So I would, pretty much eat my dinner and just kind of be done for the rest of the day. And so that ended up, ironically, being about 8 hours a day. And I did that for 15 plus years before somebody actually brought it to my attention. There's a term for that. And I'm like, really? And I actually hit it because as a fitness professional, you're told by the fitness companies and you're told by fitness competitors and all this stuff that you're supposed to have those 6 small meals a day and eat first thing in the morning to stoke the metabolism and all of this crap that we've been told, because it's mostly, funded studies and research from snack food companies and breakfast companies and companies that want you to eat their food because they don't profit if you don't eat. Right. So just these really terrible misconceptions came about that we have to just constantly be stuffing our face to be healthy. And is kind of why I'm really, really passionate about having any and everybody just give intermittent fasting a try to see how it feels. Right. Because I don't think we were designed to just wake up and, just graze all day long. Not at all.
And it's funny because I love how you say, just give it a chance, right? Because we don't know how it's going to affect our bodies until we actually test it out. And that's what I love about doing my health and fitness blog. I've been doing it for a while now. And I consider myself to be an experimenter or kind of a guinea pig because I love being able to try things out to see how my body responds. And then I can actually share that with my followers and say, hey, this is what I liked about it. This is what I didn't like. This is what I learned, that sort of thing. Now I have to say with the whole intermittent fasting, I've been doing it for over, several years as well. And in the beginning, didn't really do it too much for health and fitness reasons, but more spiritual reasons. But then as I started focusing more on the health and fitness industry, then I realized how important it was. I have to say, when I started really indulging in doing the intermittent fasting, I saw immediate changes in my reducing in the inflammation of my body. And so the
Amen.
inflammation in my body like drastically reduced. I started feeling with higher energy levels. Like I really don't need higher energy levels. I already have high energy, but I was like, oh my God, it was just like, then it was like through the roof even more. I was more focused at work and I was like on fire basically. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And it was definitely more plant-based and, like you were saying, whole foods. And so what I would do is I would do the intermittent fasting along with a high fat diet, low carb, and then I would kind of interchange it. So I would do a week of that, and then I would go to a week of plant based, that sort of thing. And that for me, that worked. And so
Yeah.
I think it's right. I think it's like, people just need to experiment, see how their body responds, play around with it, and don't give up on something
Hmm.
too quickly because you may not see changes right in that first few days, but give your body a chance to really come around, right?
Yeah, for sure. And we, we may find somebody, Instagram or maybe even in a fitness magazine that you love their physique and you love the way they look. And so they have created maybe a diet plan and you just automatically assume that because it worked for them, it'll work for you as well. And we are so different from our genetics to our, even our background and how our ancestry grew up and the types of food that we ate and how you live now and your stress level and your age. And there's just so many factors that it's just giving someone a diet plan and saying, here, go work out and go eat this meal
Yeah.
plan and you're going to be healthy is way oversimplified. It's not that simple.
Exactly. There, because we're like you were saying, I think we're so accustomed to having those cookie cutter type of plans, and thinking that it's going to work for everyone. But I totally agree with you on that. Okay, so what do you think are some of the top tips that you can give to people if they really want to start thinking about doing this intermittent fasting, incorporating high quality fats? I know that there's high fat content out there we can eat, but I was always told to make sure that the types of fats that you eat are high quality, meaning grass fed and that sort of thing. So, any kind of good tips that you can give us on how to get started?
Yeah, absolutely. So don't look at somebody else and think that you have to follow their style. Like if you love eating when you wake up, maybe you sit down with the kids and you guys enjoy your breakfast together. Don't feel like you have to skip that. You can just finish eating earlier in the day, or vice versa. Maybe you wake up and you're not hungry, but you love to sit down with your family and have, a later dinner together. I suggest about 8 hour feeding window a day. So you're fasting for 16 hours it's a sliding scale, and play with that until you find your sweet spot. Just because I go pretty much from 11 to 7 of eating doesn't mean that that's going to work best for you. So that's number one. There's
Okay.
no hard answer on that. And the second one is a lot of people that I know are shift workers. And so they can't follow a specific time to time and they feel like they can't intermittent fast because of that. But the key, the magic is giving your body that 16-hour window of rest. So it's not digesting all the time. And
Right.
so it doesn't matter if it's the same time every day, but as long as you're putting 16 hours between that last meal and again before that first meal, you're doing what your body needs, which is the rest. So it doesn't have to be set to a clock. Just put
Right.
16 hours between those meals. And then I also highly suggest that we go back to the way, just like intermittent fasting, you'll get me on a soapbox if I start talking about how people question if it's healthy. You're here today because of intermittent fasting. But
Mm.
also, there is absolutely zero science that says whether you eat 6 small meals a day or one large meal a day is going to help you with
Mhm.
weight loss. If that's your goal, there's no science that one is better than the other. It's just get the nutrition and get the calories in. So don't feel compelled to have those 5 or 6 meals a day because someone told you that you should. And there's
Right.
probably a protein shake or a bar or snack food that they also want to pitch to you. If you are more comfortable eating 2 big meals a day or 3 square meals a day like we did when we were a healthy nation, or even maybe 4, but don't think that you have to do 5 or 6 because that's what you've been told is the healthiest thing to do, because it's not. It's what works for you. Where are you most comfortable? And I will say some people are more comfortable with 6 meals a day. Fine. I just don't ever want you to think you have to because that's what you've been told by someone who doesn't know any better.
Oh, Melissa, I'm so sorry. Could you repeat that? You broke up just a little bit. What was that last thing you said?
Oh, I said, don't feel like you have to do something because somebody who doesn't know any better has told you that you need to eat those 6 meals. Cool if you want to,
Okay.
but you don't have to.
Right. This is good stuff. I love it. I love this because this is taking charge, right? This is taking control of how you feel, of how you plan on your day and your future. How does your future look like for your health and fitness?
Yeah.
And it's really important, I think, as moms, because our kids are looking up to us, and it's our responsibility to make sure they're taught right and how to be healthy, and not just healthy in your body, but healthy in your mind. I've done so much research on how a high fat diet actually affects your brain function on such a level that it helps clear the brain fog, or what they call mom fog. A lot of times, if you're a mom out there, it helps get clarity and focus. It helps you sleep better. It reduces aches and pains in the body. I mean, there is just like so much that can come from this. I really want people out there to, stress to people out there that if you're looking for something that you haven't found it yet, to try this, and not just try it, but really start to implement this, and even in a small way, and then maybe work your way up, like Melissa was saying, to something a little bit more, I guess, not drastic, but if you incorporate it a little bit bigger in your world. So there's a lot of amazing benefits from this. If you want to find out more benefits from Melissa, you can also reach out to her. But I really wanted to talk about some of the myths that are around, intermittent fasting, and some of the myths around eating fat to burn fat. That doesn't. Some people are like, really? Does that really work? I know it does, but I would love to hear what you have to say on the subject, Melissa.
Um, So without getting too scientific-y, we have our macronutrients, our carbs, our protein, and our fats. Now, protein is essential, and we have to have a lot of protein. It's the building blocks of everything: cells, bones, muscles, everything. So we need protein to build and to keep our body healthy. But you can overdo protein. There's a process called gluconeogenesis that if you have too much protein in your body, it'll change it into glucose. That's where the name comes from, creating new sugar.
Isn't there also, I'm sorry to interrupt, but isn't there also, I heard, now this is just what I heard, that there's actually only so much protein that our bodies can absorb at one time as well. So it's not like we can continuously put that protein in our bodies and it's actually going to do us any good.
Yeah,
we have to have a limit.
There is a cap. And I also, you'll have to take me back to where I was. A lot of people with intermittent fasting are like, aren't I supposed to eat have protein within 45 minutes of exercising, or I'm going to lose my muscle? Protein stays in your system a very long time. So you can go a long time without actually ingesting protein, and it's still being there to be able to help mend and repair muscle that you may have used during your exercising. So you don't have to eat right after you exercise. I never have. I've got plenty of muscle. And so that's a misconception that you think you have to eat right after because of that. But too much protein is going to be stored just like, carbohydrates are. Then you've got your carbohydrates, which are not bad. I am not anti-carbohydrate, but I am anti-refined carbs and processed carbs. I have done so much studying and research on the effects of grains and dairy. And the majority of people don't understand that they have a sensitivity to grains or to dairy. They don't associate the two, because normally those symptoms don't come instantly. I mean, you might get bloated, you might get a little bit of gas, but you can get that with vegetables too. For me, if I have a lot of grains, my skin, it takes about 2 or 3 days, but my skin will break out in a weird way. It's the weirdest thing. It took me a long time to figure that out because it would happen so many days later. I couldn't associate the two. But and this is where I'm saying again, take control. try to live grain and then dairy free for just 30 days of your very long lifespan and just see how you feel. That's all I ask you. Give it
Right.
a try. And there's actually addictive properties in dairy and grain. So why do you think when you go on a binge, you want ice cream? Why do you think you want cake? Why do you think you want cookies? Because of the dairy and the grains that are in there. I just, from the bottom of my heart and my 20 plus years of researching, do not believe that we are meant to have them on a daily diet. I mean, as a treat here and there, every once in a while, sure, but daily, absolutely not.
Right.
And so pulling out those kind of carbohydrates so that you're getting most of your carbohydrates from vegetables. You got to learn to love your vegetables. That's why I own an air fryer and a cast iron. You can make vegetables amazing in an air fryer and a cast iron. I love them. I look forward to them. I'm weird, but I had to learn how to make them, so I love them. I hate them as a child. My mom would boil Brussels sprouts. They smell horrible. So I never thought I would like Brussels sprouts. I learned to make them in a way that I enjoyed them.
Yes.
So what's left is fat. In your diet, what's left is fat. And it was demonized by the sugar company because sugar is very profitable. And they didn't want for people to realize that a lot of heart disease comes from sugar, especially your triglyceride levels. And so they found a way to make it so it was fat's fault, which wasn't right. Now, don't get me wrong, there's bad fat, man-made fat, vegetable oils, margarines, canola oil, soybean oil, all of those are horrible for you. But the God-given fat that we were supposed to have, avocados, coconuts, grass-fed beef, ghee, all of those kinds of fats are so stinking good for you. And they should be what you fill your diet with. When you find out what your protein range is, because if you are not somebody who wants to look cut, you may not need as much protein as somebody who's looking to build, that size biceps. And then same with carbohydrates. If you're extremely active, you might need more carbohydrates versus somebody who sits at a desk all day and doesn't really need any. Let's just be honest. So that you vary your protein and you vary your carbohydrates, and then what's left is healthy fat, which is also essential to your diet. Mm-hmm. And so when you learn on your individual basis, which hopefully you can find somebody that can help you with that, learn what your percentages are, not what the magazine person tells you your percentages are. You'll be blown away at how your body wants to go into what we call homeostasis, which is its happy, comfortable state of weight. Your hormones, start to go back to normal. Your energy level's high. You sleep like a baby. You age well.
But I love that one.
Tell me about it.
You're looking amazing too. We're both, well, is it okay if we say our age on here? But we're both over 40, and I have to say we do not look like it. So, there's a reason for that.
True.
Absolutely. I love this. This is amazing. So now, Melissa, I actually saw that you have an actual program where people can get on and you can actually guide them through this. So people, especially for beginners, or even those people who want to reach the next level of their health and fitness, you can take them through this program. Can you tell us a little bit more about some of the programs that you have available for them?
Yeah. So if you go to 8hourabsdiet.com, that's a free ebook. That was my very first ebook I wrote many, many years ago, just on intermittent fasting. So it's kind of getting you started and breaking the common myths that people have about intermittent fasting. That was a huge success.
Awesome.
Loved how much people, well, it was free, so of course it was a success. Free. But then I put a lot more time and energy and research into creating my second ebook, which is themadediet.com, MADE. It's an acronym, and it stands for moderate carbs, adequate fat, or moderate protein, adequate fat, decreased carbs, an 8-hour window. So it stands for pretty much intermittent fasting and eating a whole food-based diet that is, lower in carbs and higher in fat. And so that one is a $10 ebook, and had that out for about 5 or 6 years now. And I just completed a course. I was just telling Rebecca, it's done. Very proud of it.
Woohoo!
For that, I need to put it out to the world. I just, you build something, your baby. This is honestly my
Yes.
coronavirus baby, because I would just sit and work, and it goes into details about hormones and good fats, bad fats, good carbs, bad carbs, good proteins, bad proteins. All, even how to cook, what kind of pots should you cook in, kind of a thing. So it's very detailed. I'm very proud of it. So that'll come out as well. But on a monthly basis, I also do support and accountability groups to help ease women into this kind of a lifestyle. Because, like I said, you need someone there to literally answer your questions. So you're going to start intermittent fasting, and you're going to start to notice things change, and you're going to wonder if that's normal. You're going to start pulling back your carbohydrates and maybe eating more fat. And your grandmother, who probably cooked in butter, is proud of you, but your mom, who thinks you need to use just a tiny bit of vegetable oil, Pam spray, because low fat is the way to go, is, in your ear telling you, oh my gosh, you're using real butter? You're going to have a heart attack. So you want somebody there to reassure you with science and research to say, no, it's okay.
I love this.
We have been duped for so long, and I think that's my biggest hurdle, is just calming. I mostly work with women, calming them down. Like the other day, I had a woman, she got my book, and she's like, 50% fat? Are you kidding me? And she says, that blows my mind. And I said, well, let me just ask you this question. We've been told to have at least 50% of our diet be carbohydrates for the last 40 to 50 years. How are we looking right now? And she's like, okay, good point. What the government
Right.
wants to do is not in your best interest. It's in their best interest.
I love this. This is so great. I'm going to definitely check out some of your books because they sound really interesting. I love reading more about how to optimize our bodies, because I, for one, and I know you're probably just like me, Melissa, where I believe in my later years being even better. I want to grow into my 50s and 60s or whatever, elegantly and strongly and healthy. Like, I want to lay a strong foundation today so I can really enjoy even the later on. So and doing that takes, like you said, it takes actually, stepping into a group, or reading a new book, or helping, getting someone to help you. I'm all tongue tied here. Getting someone to help you actually go step by step and learn what the steps are and how to really optimize your life and how to optimize your health. And so doing what you do is absolutely amazing. We need more coaches like you helping women out there. And so I'm so glad that you were on my show to actually share some of your tips and tricks with us, and to share some of your amazing knowledge with us as well. So, and I know you're going to continue to doing amazing things. And so I want to invite the women out there right now. And even if you're not a woman, do you coach men as well, Melissa? Do you coach men as well, or is it just women?
On a one-on-one basis. They're not allowed in my groups, but I do on a one-on-one basis.
Okay, I like that. Okay, so reach out to Melissa if you want to test this theory out about eating healthy fats and intermittent fasting. I think she's going to coach you really well into this, and you're going to love it. You're going to see amazing results. I can already see it. So reach out to Melissa. I'm going to have all her information in the show notes, obviously, and you can also find her later on YouTube, as well as Girls Guide to Greatness on iTunes and what is it, Spotify? We're all over the place. So, Melissa, is there anything else you want to share with the group before you leave? Before you head out?
No, that doesn't make any sense. Yes, I want to implore you to put your health first, and don't wait until there's something scary that happens to you or someone that you love to reconsider the foods that you put in your mouth. Try really hard to eat things that aren't in packages. Make meals again, sit down with your family again, put the phones away, connect, and just eat as many colors of the rainbow as you can, and everything else will fall into place.
That is beautiful advice. I absolutely love that, Melissa. Thank you so much for being on the show. This has been a lot of fun. I love girl talk. I love having amazing women on the show doing amazing things. I always have such a blast. I learn so much. So thank you so much again. And guys, girls, reach out to Melissa if you want to go into this even further. And we will see you all on the next episode. Thank you so much, Melissa. Thanks, Facebook.